Well, this thing's been around since the mid-90s, believe it or not, and I'd be lying if I said I've used it in every competitive round since then, but almost every competitive round. So I was using a different putter before Scotty came to work for Titleist. He typed a little G in there for gamer, which I love. I have a couple backups that are close, but as I spin the putter here, and on the back on the cavity here, you see Titleist, you see Cameron, and you see my little initials there, BF. Scotty and I took this seriously. I had been using one particular putter for a while. It took about a year and a half to come up with a model that I felt comfortable with, and that had to do with everything. It had to do with the feel, the look, the color, the sound, the shaft, the weight. So I added some weight at the end. My putter weighs about D8. It's 35.5 inches long. It has a lot of toe hang. I like to feel like my putter opens and closes a little bit, so you see that. She's just got to be 75% toe hang right there, degrees of toe hang. I really haven't changed anything in this putter over the years except for, a new grip probably 2 or 3 times a year, which I hate to do. I hate to take the grip off and lose the feel of the grip. But other than that, I really haven't played around with it much. I love what it looks like when I look down, the simplicity of, I like the dash on the putter too. I don't have a big long line on here. It's just that little dash. It's a little off-white here. And I've even played around with colors in the past to see if a brighter white or a duller white would be more or less helpful. We have a couple backups, and I've tried a line in the flange, which helps a lot of players, but this one to me is the simplest look for me, the best feel, the best sound. The shaft is a little bit firmer than most shafts. That helps me when I have transition and a little bit of lag in the stroke. The sound is feel. We all talk about that. And I've used other Scotties to putt with, and I feel like I could putt with a lot of great putters, but a lot of the putters that he makes particularly, and even now, trying some of the mallets or the heads that are a little bit deeper for a little bit more stability, and I think if I were starting over now, I'd have to experiment with mallets. Over 50% of the tours using mallets now. Scotty's for sure selling way more mallets than he used to. There's more forgiveness, and I think now with the materials that he uses in the face, you can still have that feel that you get and with the blade. One of the putters that I have in my collection was the first prototype. We call it the Fax Day now. It ended up being the Laguna. But the first one that he actually milled and made for me, it was more hand milled than it was machine milled. And it was heavier. It was just to get an idea of what we wanted it to look like. I like the thinner top line. I didn't want it too wide. And I looked down at this thing, I thought it wasn't a putter to use, right? It was just, and I sit there and I put it down. It's still got one of Scotty's grips on it. And then how we evolved, we probably got 3 or 4 different baseline putters before we arrived at this one where I said, this is perfect, and went right into play. And like I said, it wasn't like, here's the putter, go use it. It took a while to get, because I was putting very well, and I wanted to make sure that if anything, if I was switching, I was going to get better, not worse. And the perfectionist that Scotty Cameron is, it bled into me. And on top of that, before Scotty, I had never seen my putting stroke on video. I'd never seen it on camera other than just, on television, but nothing as far as like a lesson. And he had these high-tech, high-speed cameras that I saw angles I had never thought you could see. And he actually helped my stroke because my putting stroke went a little bit too straight back. I had a little loop on the outside and then kind of wiped across the ball. And through his slow motion cameras and through the help of like seeing yourself do this over and over again, my stroke got better. I got more on the arc, and I think it's really working with Scotty for so long to nail that. And I never had any really change in the plane of the shaft in transition like I used to have, and my putting numbers got way better after that. It's rusted a few times when I've left it wet overnight sometimes, but I can't think of a better looking color for this putter than it is right now. He's made me some beautiful putters in different colors in the stainless, and they all look pretty good, but it's still nothing like going back down with this. I was a bullseye guy growing up because that was the putter Titleist made, Acushnet made. Everybody at my club had a bullseye. And then I started fooling around with bullseyes with flanges versus not having flanges, and that was cool. When you had a flange, you could pick the ball up. And then there were some putters that weren't really center shafted where you had a little bit more toe hang. And I think for me, that's what helped kind of really make my stroke develop into something that has some opening and closing when I putt. I would tell you the best, and I putted so well for so long with this putter, but maybe the best golf I ever played in 2001, I won the Sony Open in Hawaii, and I shot 20 under par on a course that had just been changed from a par 72 to a par 70. So 2 of the par 5s the year before became par 4. So that 20 under was almost like a 28 under par. I eagled 1 hole every day on those 2 par 5s, and the last hole, I made an eagle putt from about 10 feet to shoot 20 under par to win by 4. And that putt was an uphill, probably 8 or 9 footer left to right. The purest putt of my life to this day with this putter.